Hey guys, this is the 17th video in the Great Spiritual Awakening series. Today we're going to talk about how reincarnation points to a much greater version of ourselves. Reincarnation is when the soul of a dead person goes on to experience a new life. The soul is not made of matter, space, and time. Therefore, it cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. Souls experience reincarnation because a pregnant mother needs the ingredient called the soul to have a baby. But she cannot create the soul. Remember, the soul cannot be created at all. Therefore, the ingredient called the soul must come from a dead person. Think about supply and demand. The fetus needs the ingredient called the soul. They make the demand, and the soul of the person who recently died is the supply. When the supply meets the demand, reincarnation takes place. Here you can see people reincarnating into other people. Notice the number of souls neither increases nor decreases. You see, because the soul cannot be created and cannot be destroyed, the number of souls remains constant and finite. Reincarnation has been happening for a very long time. Over 66 million years ago, we experienced the lives of dinosaurs. Every time a dinosaur mother was pregnant, she needed the ingredient called the soul to make a baby. Hence, we reincarnated into dinosaurs over and over again. But we can go further back in time. About 500 million years ago, we experienced the lives of trilobites and fish. Every time a trilobite or fish was pregnant, they needed the ingredient called the soul to make babies. Hence, we reincarnated into trilobites and fish over and over again. The soul is the essential ingredient in life forms with nervous systems. Every time an animal with a nervous system becomes pregnant, reincarnation must take place because the soul cannot be created. But now let's go further back into the past. What did we experience before life existed in the universe? Galaxies are the only things that existed before life in the universe. Therefore, we were galaxies before life existed in the universe. Galaxies are large cosmic objects that contain countless stars, planets, and black holes. Now you might be wondering, how did we go from galaxies to humans? The only way that galaxies can turn into humans is through dreams. In other words, we are galaxies and we are dreaming that we are humans. Life is a dream that galaxies are having, but all dreams come to an end. Otherwise, we can't really call them dreams. Therefore, at some point, life will come to an end and we will be galaxies that are awake. Now I want to briefly talk about why the idea that we are galaxies makes sense. If the soul existed before life in the universe, and if the soul had to be present in the universe at that time, then we were galaxies at that time. There's no other answer to this. Galaxies were the only physical bodies at that time. We already know the soul existed before life in the universe, but the question is, was it present in the universe at that time? Another word for soul is awareness. Awareness needs to be aware of things, otherwise we can't call it awareness. Think of it this way, a scientist needs to know science, otherwise that's not a scientist. A mathematician needs to know math, otherwise that's not a mathematician. Similarly, awareness needs to be aware of things to be awareness. The universe contains information. Awareness needs to be present in the universe because that's where there are things to be aware of. Look around you, there are things to be aware of. Awareness cannot exist on its own because on its own, there's nothing to be aware of. Remember, awareness is not made of matter, space, and time, but it needs matter, space, and time to be aware. Hopefully, what I'm saying here makes sense. If you're confused, please let me know in the comments. Because awareness needs to be in the universe to be aware, we were present in the universe before life on Earth existed, and the only physical forms that existed before life were galaxies. Hence, we were galaxies before life. We are currently galaxies dreaming about life, and in the future, the dream will come to an end and we will be awake galaxies. The idea that we are galaxies may sound strange to you, but does it make sense to say that the soul suddenly appeared when life on Earth appeared, and the soul will disappear forever when life goes extinct? Or does it make sense to say the soul was always present in the universe and it will never disappear from the universe? The second idea makes more sense. If you have something that is eternal and this thing needs to always be connected to information, then it should always exist in the universe in one form or another. Max Planck, one of the greatest scientists in the world, once said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as a derivative from consciousness. We cannot get behind consciousness. Everything that we talk about, everything that we regard as existing, postulates consciousness." What Max Planck is saying is that consciousness existed before life existed in the universe, and he's saying consciousness is a fundamental part of the universe. In other words, the universe cannot exist without consciousness. If you look at most of the world religions, they put consciousness at the beginning of the universe. They say God, a mysterious form of consciousness, was present at the beginning of time, and God was essential in the creation of the universe. In the Bible, it says Jesus Christ existed in 3 different forms. He is the Holy Spirit, He is the Son, in other words, He is a human, and He is the Father. The Father is the creator of the universe, which means the Father existed before life on earth existed. Hence, the galaxy represents the Father. As you can see, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit exist together. Just because an idea seems strange, that doesn't mean it's false. If you traveled back in time 400 years and you told people that light bends around massive objects, people would think you were a fool and they would say that's impossible. But Albert Einstein came along and he showed us that light bends around massive objects. Similarly, if you traveled back in time 500 years and you told people that something called the telephone would exist in the future, they would probably call you crazy or stupid. But Alexander Graham Bell came along and he created the telephone. My point is, the ideas that seem strange and impossible are sometimes the ideas that push us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe. Therefore, we should not reject the idea that we are galaxies. Instead, we should have a conversation about it. After all, people want to know who they truly are. They want to have a deeper understanding of God and reality. Hey guys, if you're looking for a thought-provoking spiritual book, check out The Great Spiritual Awakening. The link is in the description. And in the next video, we will talk about how karma works. Click on the thumbnail to watch the video, and last but not least, have an amazing, wonderful day.